Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and today we're going to be talking about reacting to, explaining, etc., the latest MX vs. ATV video game from Rainbow Studios and THQNordic, MX vs. ATV Legends. It's just been announced, or it's pretty much about to be announced. We got some early press release stuff and some screenshots that I'm going to lead in with, and then in about 8 minutes here, they're actually going to be going live on their Twitch and on their YouTube channel to kind of show some things off. So I wanted to kind of almost do like a live reaction video to this live stream and some of the things that they're going to show in it. And hopefully there's a little bit more than just the trailer that they showed for this game. But let's go ahead and jump in and talk about some of these things. All right, so the first thing actually that they have here is this press release, as mentioned. It's actually kind of like pretty brief of a press release. But it starts off: experience the life of a world-famous MX Pro and MX vs. ATV Legends. Race your way to victory on bikes, ATVs, and UTVs in 2-player split screen and 16-player online modes with squad-based gameplay. So that's cool. 2-player split screen. I mean, that was kind of a big catalyst, I feel like, with MX vs. ATV of late, because the Supercross and MXGP games don't have split screen yet. So this is a game that does have it for any of the younger players, or even, I feel like parents want to play with their kids sometimes, so this is a cool way to do it. But let's jump in. So today announced the next installment of the MX vs. ATV franchise. MX vs. ATV Legends going to be available on PS5 and Xbox Series X or S. So going to be on those Gen 8 consoles, I think is what it is now. Debut with the deepest career mode to date in MX vs. ATV Legends. Competitors will be able to carve their own path to the podium with unprecedented player choice, including sponsorship opportunities and special invitational events. Hey, sponsorship opportunities, finally. We get a little bit more of that. Like, I like when they integrate that stuff. Obviously the Supercross and MXGP games have been doing them, but this is now coming in with MX vs. ATV and expanding on their career mode, which was pretty lackluster, to be honest, on All Out. We'll get to the trailer in a second. The feature list: compete in a new career mode with your choices to lead to different paths, sponsorship opportunities, and special invitational events. Explore massive open environments, including the California coastline. So hey, I'm a California kid, so that's kind of cool. Experience the brand new Trails mode for high-intensity outdoor racing, each turn presenting new surprises, challenging your drive style in new ways. Race in 2-player split screen, 16-player online mode, we know that. Customize your rider and vehicles with the latest parts and gear from leading manufacturers in off-road racing. And ride berms and ruts with higher precision than ever before with refined physics systems. So that's, I think, what most people really care about right here. All the maps and the split screen and the career mode and stuff like that doesn't really seem to matter unless you have a good physics engine. And a lot of people have liked the MX vs. ATV physics engine from All Out, but a lot of people also want to go back to either Reflex or Alive, or some sort of combination of like a simulated physics system but with the arcade feeling still. So if it's going to be refined physics, that to me makes it seem like it's going to be All Out's physics fixed up a little bit. It's not a revamped or completely new system as they're describing it. It's just refined. So I think that that's probably what we're looking at, but we'll see more in a bit, I'm sure. MX fans can enjoy the massive savings on MX vs. ATV franchise during the Nordic 10th anniversary sales on Xbox Game Store, blah, 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 blah. I think that's happening right now, but there is no release date in this PR, which I think is kind of interesting. It's coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, as well as PC. And for updates, you can follow them on social. They're at MX vs. ATV on Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook, it's just, I think MX vs. ATV All Out is their official Facebook page right now. So you guys can check that out. But that is the press release that we got. And let's look at the trailer. And I'm going to keep the trailer muted because it has a copyrighted song on it. But I'm just going to kind of tell you guys right now, there's not much special in this. So let's take a look. So again, this is copyrighted music, so I don't really want to play it too much. Like, look, you can just, it's just copyrighted music. There's no sound effects or any noises like that. It's literally just bikes, or a bike, a quad, a UTV coming at you. It's got this little side angle. This is clearly not gameplay. This is just some sort of, rendered thing here. And they're just kind of showing off. It's a typical announcement trailer. I feel like it's very basic. And there's just not a lot going on right there. There's nothing that we can really derive from this. There's no gameplay. Obviously, right here is kind of cool because it shows the open world aspect of it that's probably in play with the California coast and, the riding trails off the coast, the palm trees and the water right there. If this is like a map that we get right here, This will be sick. I think this will be a great looking map if we can play with it, and if it's really expansive, if it's not just like this small little area that we can see here. It goes way behind this rider, way to the right of the rider, all those things like that. So that'll be cool if that's really what the map looks like. But it is obviously just some sort of rendering. Maybe they did it in Blender or something like that. So again, not much we learned from it, other than like the bikes look a little interesting. This kind of looks like the Aprilia from a little years back. This UTV doesn't look like anything that I've ever seen before. It's got like these crazy side fins. You know, someone's probably made something similar to it. Quad doesn't look that unique or different, but I mean, there's just nothing massive to take away from this. I mean, look at, you know, these bikes. I don't think you guys will be stoked on how that looks. That looks really kind of odd and fake. And then the swing arm here, what even is going on there? No idea. But aside from that, hey, at least it's a new game, so we got something cool to talk about. Here are some photos. I'll pull this up here so we can take a look at it. Let's go a little full screen. But I mean, UTVs, you can see the course in the background here. This is pretty cool. It's like in this valley. It looks like a pretty realistic-ish looking national track to some degree. It's got the banners all around it, and you can ride UTVs on it, but it does look like an actual motocross track. I think this is just UTVs riding on it. This is like really awesome. This looks a lot like in MX vs. ATV Untamed. There's a course that has snow-capped mountains around it and a ski lift that goes up it. Don't remember the name of it, but it had a dam on it and a couple other things. It looks a lot like that to me. Here's this same map that the UTVs are riding on. It looks very national-ish. It doesn't look like a real national at all, as far as I can tell. I don't remember anything with a right-hand first turn that comes up a hill immediately like this. It looks a little mammoth-y, like the Mammoth Motocross in California. I don't think that's that track, though. It doesn't look exactly like it. Here's a look at some of the Supercross that they have in the game by the looks of it. Sweeping left-hand first corner. This doesn't look anything like a Supercross track I've seen. It appears like the track rejoins behind these Shift and Fast House logos right here from the finish line jump, so I guess that stuff moves. More of a national track and some of the bikes that we can see in game. There's the logo, MX vs. ATV Legends. This is weird right here. This looks like almost like a GNCC almost, but it's also like the national track, I guess. It's got a split lane inside outside, but it also goes like you can see in the background here. It's got like a split lane around like this tent or mechanics area. I have no idea. It's very confusing what that is, but that's all the photos they have. But we're a minute away from them potentially going live on YouTube. They should either go here or they should go. Here we go. Yeah, live. So here we go. Event starts. Oh, it's starting right now. Let's see what we're leading in with. All right, 10th anniversary for THQNordic and their combo. I feel like this is a lot of what it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of stuff that doesn't pertain to MX vs. ATV. So I'll just kind of wait until we see something about it.
The only off-road racing franchise to feature bikes, ATVs, and UTVs is back with its 8th installment, MX vs. ATV Legends. This time around, the team at Rainbow Studios wants players to know what it feels like to become a world-famous professional motocross rider, building a career, competing through a real-life MX calendar, plus story elements like invitationals and sponsorship opportunities. This in addition to the new Trails mode, which takes riders across various outdoor environments, as well as squad-based multiplayer gameplay supported by Rainbow's new server infrastructure. Here's a first look at what it's like to go from amateur to pro to motocross legend.
All right, here we go. Okay, of course. It's the exact same thing that we just watched. It's the trailer over again. Please tell me there's going to be gameplay. If there's no gameplay, I think you guys are rioting. Or at least it's just somebody, a dev, talking something. Okay, alright, okay. Pre-alpha footage. Alright, I mean, it does look very all-out-ish so far. But it's pretty rough gameplay. It is just pre-alpha footage. That's sort of some gameplay. It looks a lot heavier. Okay, still throw whips. There's just music in the background. What is that unrealistic double? Holy smokes. And it looks like it's sliding around a lot too. Like, bike's like just so heavy compared to the ground. Doesn't look too bad though yet, because this is like really rough pre-alpha footage, it seems.
Superpower 3 aims to be one of the most complete.
Okay, so that's all we got of this. So let's go back and let's rehash a couple of these things in here. So first of all, we have the trailer, and then this is the off-road premiere of it. So let's kind of like half speed and talk about a few things here. So the bike sounds, you can barely hear them in this, but I'm not going to play them because there's copyrighted music playing. So we've got the beach. We've got like some waypoints it looks like they're going through. This looks really weird. This is some sort of like cliff track. But look at how heavy the bike looks in a lot of this stuff. Like it's just kind of like, doesn't look like the rider's even kind of reacting to anything. Like no leg movements, no arm movements, just so stiff. And then the bike's just kind of going over a lot of this stuff. Like pretty stiff stuff right there. The rider's not leaning. Again, very early stuff. I mean, look at the bike. So the bike right there in this, not right here, but this shot, look at it when it goes over the bumps. Like suspension's soaking up stuff pretty well, but the rider's like not even moving. Like there's like little movement there. We got whips again. That looks very similar to what we had in All Out. Just going over some bumps here. It looks like leaning back. I mean, this double down the hill is so massive. And then watch. So as he goes through the mud, like he like slides up the face right here and then like turning jumps. I don't know. Very weird, but it doesn't look too bad yet. I'll give it credit. Like so far, like visually, it looks fantastic. This looks not bad. I mean, like going through the whoops, man, just the rider's not moving at all in that footage. So that's not the best. And then back to here again. Like, let's just go over the whoops again. I'll slow it down even more so we can really, really get a grasp of it. I mean, visually effect-wise, this looks great. This doesn't look too bad. I mean, the riders are kind of not really touching the bars there. But then look at how little the rider is moving right here. Almost nothing. Just kind of like the bike is the only thing reacting to anything on the ground. And then just a finish line shot. I don't think there's anything really special beyond this. Doesn't look like they showed any tricks off. The whips that they showed were very very bland, I would say, to put it mildly. Where's that whip that they were? It's like right here or something. That's Supercross again. It was right in here somewhere. But I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look awful, but it does look. It looks a lot more alive-ish, honestly. Very stiff, but you can get movement out of the bike, so that's, I think, more realistic to reality than than All Out was. Because MX vs. ATV All Out, there was just so much looseness with how much you could throw the bike around, and it just felt very unnatural. Like, this looks pretty decent. The head tilt looks a little weird, but I mean the actual like lean of the movement off of the jump there didn't look bad. It just looks bad that like when you start bringing it back, the rider's like barely moving at all, just bouncing here. I don't know. Like I said, so like I don't like really looking at this stuff and just bashing it immediately ever. I really want to play it before I understand how it feels and everything like that. I'd say that this looks like decent from just the visual looks of it and how the physics look like they move. I need to see like a lot more motion and how the physics actually work before I make any judgments. It's interesting how huge they make Supercross tracks in this game too. But this sequence right here, like coming out of the corner, that doesn't look too bad. But then this just, I don't know, it just bothers me that the rider doesn't even move like at all. And it's all the rear tire soaking up, which again is that weird like double swing arm thing. I think that's all the footage that we're going to get out of it though. But hey, look, they gave us footage. They gave us something to digest at least a little bit beyond just the trailer. We'll watch it just one more time real quick here. 30 off-road premiere is what this is called. I mean, first person looks pretty cool. I like going through the trails like that. Open world concept. This looks like a weird platformer game suddenly. I don't know if they're doing some follow cam or something like that. This is clearly just camera work. Be great if we could do this in the game, like follow around with a camera in cool angles like that. Whips are fine. I mean, all the stuff in the background there, the track looks kind of cool. I like how hilly all these tracks that they're showing are. There's a lot of ups and downs. The tracks look very custom, which is always unique about this franchise. Like, they don't really try to go very stale with like basic little tracks. They do some pretty outlandish tracks. I mean, you know, look at all the hills in the background here. This just like jumps down the hill and goes into this gully at the bottom. So that's pretty cool. This track like all up and through the hills here. I'm still so confused by this. Like, I can't tell if they're using a follow camera or some weird other thing. I mean, that just looks like a mobile game almost. But then it gets back to this, which is like obviously much more console. Interesting. Yeah. Well, like I said, I wanted to like live react to it and get you guys to feel what I was feeling in looking at this footage. I'm a big fan of the fact that Rainbow is still this dedicated to the sport and making these games after all these years, personally speaking. Like, they have cared about this sport for 2 decades now, like as long as THQ and Nordic have been around pretty much. So MX vs. ATV Legends, the time is now. Doesn't look like there's any official release date at all listed, but it is copyright 2022, so I'm almost going to swear that this is going to be sometime in Q2 or so next year, maybe even later, depending on how early that alpha footage really is. But at least we got something out of today, right? We got to see a little bit of the game. We got to see maybe how the gameplay footage is going to be. I think there's still a lot of work that they're going to do with that. And we get to know some about the features. This guy at the beginning, what's his name? George Keeley, talks a little bit about how, you know, we'll go back to it again real quick and listen.
Gameplay supported by Rainbow's new server infrastructure. Here's a first look at what it's like to go. UTVs is back with its 8th installment, MX vs. ATV Legends.
So right here.
This time around, the team at Rainbow Studios wants players to know what it feels like to become a world-famous professional motocross rider, building a career, competing through a real-life MX calendar, plus story elements like invitationals and sponsorship opportunities.
That's what people wanted to hear, I feel like, that are core motocross fans. I think that like the casual gamers that play this and play it because it's just another like fun UTV open map world game don't care about that. But I think the idea of like a full motocross season or a full supercross season with like many rounds and an actual career mode that goes with it and sponsors and accolades and all this is what people really wanted out of this series specifically. The Supercross games, the MXGP games, they already have like a developed career mode that goes with the actual championship series. I think people wanted to see something beyond just like doing the races and getting credits and then being able to buy new bikes, like get real sponsors and come from like amateur to pro level. It doesn't say anything in here about, you know, pro motocross, and that DLC has been a part of the series for 2 or 3 years now. I'd imagine that relationship is going to keep going. I haven't heard anything otherwise that Pro Motocross or Rainbow Studios are unhappy with that relationship. So I have to imagine on some level they're going to have more Pro Motocross stuff. But at least from this trailer, there's nothing in it that suggests that it comes with the game. But we'll see. Maybe as we get a little bit further along, we'll hear more about it. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to do like a live reaction to it, show you guys kind of, you know, what we're looking at so far for MX vs. ATV Legends, and hopefully we see a lot more and more cool stuff about the game coming soon. But I'm excited to see a new game on the market regardless of which. I know some people are going to be upset or not like this. I think there's a lot of really cool things that are coming from this already that I like. You know, the career mode aspect of it, the physics don't look awful. Personally, I thought All Out's physics were way too floaty. This looks like it's almost too heavy, so they need like a middle ground. But I like the heavier aspect of it because it does seem like it's a tiny bit more realistic, right? Like there's actually weight to your motorcycles, so to throw a whip or to go into a corner or something like that, it's not like you're just floating above the ground and then turn hard. You have to get stopped for corners and stuff like that. At least it looks like it so far in the trailer, so I like that physical aspect of it a lot. Obviously, graphically, this looks great. I hope we get this open world map. Yeah, MX vs. ATV Legends coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X or S, and PC sometime in 2022 would be my guess, but we don't know a release date. We just know that it's officially been announced now. So yeah, that's all for today. I'm not going to sit around and waste too much more of your time. It doesn't seem like they're going to bring it up anymore throughout this live stream. So I'll send you guys on your way. But thanks for checking out another video here on Start Your Systems. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to hit up the comment section below and let us know what you guys want to see in this game, what you liked about this trailer, what you didn't like about it. And I'm happy to answer all questions in the comment section below. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.